You've seen the title of the video, and yes, we have been lying to our viewers for a little over 3 years now about one of these three things. Either me being a soldier in the Army, me being stationed at Fort Leonard Wood, or us starting this farm on our own. This short clip is going to tell you the truth about what it is. Hello.
Sergeant Linden, Sergeant Keith, HRC manager. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, Sergeant?
Good, good. Hey, I'm calling you for myself, but the good news is you are going to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
You have no idea how happy my family is.
It works out, man. I'm glad we could help. It's not always that case, but...
Yeah, I know that, if it didn't work out, there's no hard feelings. I mean, I get it. It's awesome.
You're going to Missouri.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Sergeant. I'm gonna have to save that clip because it's gonna be important here in about 6 or 8 months when I actually get to be honest with you guys and, don't have to hide as much. I'll leave it at that. Moral of the story is that I've been stationed in Des Moines, Iowa for the last 3 years. So from July of 2020 until July of 2023, that's where I've been stationed. I was an OCT. I was embedded with a reserve battalion, so an active duty soldier that's embedded with a reserve battalion, and it was a pretty cool job. I really enjoyed it, had a good time there. There was 2 other active duty soldiers there with me, and pretty cool. What sucked about it was pretty simple, that I wasn't home during the week. I worked on a farm in the evenings in Iowa, up there at a row crop farm, to help offset the bills because we're paying for 2 households, right? I'm staying in an RV up there in Des Moines. And then also the amount of fuel that I'm spending to drive back and forth at the beginning wasn't bad. When it was $2 a gallon for diesel, that was easy. But when it got to $4 and $5 a gallon almost, it gets pretty expensive pretty quick. Driving back and forth to Iowa, so essentially how it worked is I'd leave Friday evening right after work and get home, late Friday night basically. Stay home obviously and hang out with the family and everything all weekend, as long as I could. So Saturday, we'd hang out, we'd try to do something as a family, but I'd have to accomplish some chores that either Chrissy couldn't do or the kids couldn't do on the farm, or something that needs repaired, such as this rake behind me, on my little bit of free time on that Saturday to get ready for hay season or whatever's coming up. Sunday morning, we'd get up, go to church. After church, we'd try to hang out and do a little bit more family time, and then Sunday evening, I would leave to head back to Iowa, and then the cycle would repeat. I took leave in order to cut hay and everything else. The hardship is that our families move a lot and they endure a lot. And I asked my wife to essentially help keep my dream afloat, and it's partially her dream too, but to keep our dream afloat pretty much by herself all week, and then I would help, a day and a half through the weekend. It's pretty hard, especially considering my wife was also going to school at the same time. She was a full-time student, full-time job as well, and obviously taking care of kids and full-time, the only person here to help and do whatever needs to be done on the farm during the week. Huge hardship for her. It's amazing what my family has done in order to support this dream, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, present day. So when you're seeing this video, I'm already stationed back at Fort Leonard Wood. This should be my last duty station before I retire. I've got 17 years in the Army. I plan to retire at 20, not because, I'm mad at the Army or anything like that. It's just part of our job. We move around, we go and fight America's wars. That is the job I signed up for, and I knew that. I'm just to a point in my life that I want to give that time to my family. I want to be here for them when they have an event at school, or they have an assembly at school, or they just need me to be here when they get home from school, whatever the case is. I am ready for that to happen. And it's hard a lot of times whenever your kids call you and they want you there and you just can't be there. That is what makes me so thankful for the family that I have, because they understand that, they push through it too, and in my mind, it is their time after I retire. So yes, obviously I'll be working this farm. If all goes well, I won't have to get another job. But at the end of the day, the point is that it's their time. 20 years to the Army, I think, is more than fair, and it is, deserving of them to get that time back from me. What isn't going to change around here is the farming. Like, it's still going to happen. Nothing's changed on that. We can all agree that social media and YouTube in general are really cool tools and really fun things to be able to keep up with, you know, your favorite farmers, your favorite sports stars, whatever it is that you're interested in. Terrorists or people that are up to no good can also easily use it to figure out information about people or soldiers that they want to exploit and use for harm. That is what makes it to where, in my mind, I wasn't lying to you all. I was lying to folks that want to do harm to myself, my family, or Americans in general. Therefore, I really believe that you all can forgive me for it, and we can move past this pretty easily, and you're going to get to see what this combine header is all about here in future videos. But for now, we need to get back to that rake and get it taken care of. And while I'm thinking about it, if any of you are thinking about joining the Army, our email address is down below. It's travis@freedomfarmsmo.com. Email me. I will tell you everything I can about what your experience in the Army would be like, or at least really close to it, so you're not being lied to, or what everybody thinks they're being lied to by a recruiter, which I agree, yeah, sometimes they do lie. But ultimately, I can tell you what your experience will really be like. And the other beauty is that I'm going to be 37 years old when I retire from the Army with 20 years in. I joined at 17. Christy and I got married very shortly thereafter, and we never looked back. So, pretty cool things that the Army has to offer you and can easily make your life better, because everything you see around me here has all been a part of my dreams. All of it. And wouldn't have came true without, well, without my family, for one, for them sticking by me and helping me with everything, but without the Army. The Army offers a lot of opportunities that, yeah, sometimes it's not what you want to do, but at the end of the day, it helps you, and anything that you survive that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This rake you see here behind me is a Heston 3982. And well, how I talked about, we were in Des Moines, Iowa. Well, just like that combine head that you see, being stationed somewhere that has row crop ground and uses far larger equipment than what we use here in South Central Missouri, because it doesn't necessarily fit in, or it would fit in, but it's just kind of out of the price range, is a benefit to me. That Heston baler I bought off the side of the road in Iowa, $1,000, was one of those things. This didn't come from Iowa. It was close to it. It was actually in Missouri, but just in the very far northwest corner of Missouri. Went up there, picked it up, and I'm gonna make it into a good rake. It's not a bad rake, but you know, it needs some hoses. It needs some adjustments on, specifically on that side. And then there's also a bend in that arm. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in camera, about a little more than midway down. It has a bend in it. It's just one of those things that there's always gonna be something wrong with what I buy, but that's how I'm able to get equipment that's going to work for my farm. Yeah, it's bigger, not necessarily better, but bigger than what most folks have around, and by the time I'm done with it, not trying to say apples and oranges comparison, but it is a little bit first generation farm versus a second or third or fourth generation farm. It's kind of apples and oranges comparison. Bigger, not necessarily better, but going to be made better and made workable for our farm. So like I said, needed some hoses. We got most of those replaced. However, at this point, my problem is actually over here on, see how all of these wheels on this side are pretty even, right? They're all lifted up evenly except for this one. So that one needs adjusted still. But on this side, the back one is really high, right? And then after that, they're all relatively even. But what hurts it is this. It can't open as far as it needs to. So we're gonna make some adjustments specifically on this part right here that needs turned. Make an easier comparison for you. This is the side that needs fixed and corrected, and you can definitely see that bow in there. This side doesn't have a bow in it, but you can also see that the springs and the mounts for the springs are all oriented in a certain direction, unlike this side. So we're going to fix that. I've got this side adjusted really well, and I already changed out the hoses. I'm not gonna bore you guys with me loosening and fighting with that stuff. The only thing I can't quite get past is this has to be the wrong bolt. Oops. Because this bolt sticks way out like that and catches, but when you look at the other side, it's flush with the nut, which if it was flush with the nut on this side, it would allow it to fall down like it's supposed to. Just so you can see for reference here. See how it's flush with the end of it? And it's got basically a pin for a keeper. There are a few teeth that need to be replaced. That's pretty minor. What is, yeah, this one right here. This one's got like 4 or 5 teeth missing. That one needs a lot of teeth replaced. But other than that, if we could get this part figured out, or I guess replaced at this point, we are going to be in pretty good shape. But what's weirder about all this is that it looks like that is all one piece. So that's probably not been replaced, I wouldn't think. It don't make a whole lot of sense. Well, regardless, let's do some greasing since we got everything open. All greased up, we're gonna go out in the yard and just do a quick test run. I should really fix that. Well, it's kind of working, but as you can see, this one over here is still a problem because it's not going down all the way. I think what I'm gonna have to do is cut the end of that bolt off, which isn't a big deal, but all the other ones seem to be working. Might have to widen the end back there, but we're not gonna do that until we get the second cut going and see how it works. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Couple of hoses, a little bit of grease. I think we're gonna be all right. Thanks for watching and hearing our story. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time.